Well, good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Michael B. Ross, and I would like to welcome you to the HBK High Performance Podcast. I hope the sun is shining and the birds are chirping in your life, and I hope all your dreams are coming true. Before we get started, as I always like to mention, if you hear one good thought, one good phrase, one good quote, or one good idea from this podcast, I would like to ask you, put that thought, phrase, idea, or quote into absolute immediate action. It is the application of your education that makes the biggest difference in your world, and I don't want you to be one of those people that look back in their life with significant regret. Regret weighs tons, but discipline weighs ounces. And sometimes discipline is painful, especially when you're starting something new. It's very difficult to change your subconscious streaming patterns. We live 95% of our lives in subconscious streaming patterns. To change that, you must get in conscious thought and practice new things. And when you do that, it's painful at first. But once those disciplines instill themselves into your subconscious, you're not going to think about them anymore. So there's an old proverb that says that no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of good living and peace for all who are trained by it. So again, let's start the process of new disciplines today so you can have the life that you've always wanted. Today we're going to be talking about the second of the three intrinsic motivators. There are three intrinsic motivators for all human beings, and it's important as leaders that we develop cultures that are built around the intrinsic motivators of human beings. Because remember this, business is people and people are business. And if you are not focused on how to tap into human potential and how to unleash human potential of those on your team as well as your clients and your customers, then you are going to have a difficult time growing. Growth comes from the inside out, not the outside in. And the more you focus on growing yourself inside, the more it will manifest on the outside. So let's go to the board and let's talk about the second intrinsic motivator, which is everyone wants to be connected in relationships. I know we said we were going to record at the board, but I'm just going to record here at my desk. So the second of the three intrinsic motivators is everyone wants to be connected in relationships. That is true for you. That is true for me. One of our fundamental urges is to be known by others and for others to know us. From a leadership standpoint, this is one of your greatest opportunities. You can really, really get to know people and help them to belong to your group, to your environment, to your contribution to a better world and a better society. Make no mistake, every business that exists for one major reason: to resolve the wants or needs of human beings. You have a great cause. And yes, you make money from doing that. If you're a for-profit business, you should make as much money as you possibly can. Why? Why should you make as much money as you possibly can? Because money is an indicator that you are serving humanity well. You should never feel guilty for doing well financially, because how good, upstanding businesses make a lot of money is by helping mankind get better. You could take any business, restaurant owner. They help to nourish people. Mechanics help take care of people's vehicles so they have safe and reliable transportation. Financial managers help to plan out people's financial future to give them peace of mind and the ability to track and manage their money. No matter what business you're in, you are contributing to the betterment of mankind. So to truly know your team and to know them inside and out will help you communicate to them how they contribute to a greater cause, to a greater purpose in life. There's research done by Deloitte that shows that 87.7% of people are not passionate about what they do. They're not passionate about their jobs at all. And only 34% of the workforce is engaged. Well, why is that? In my opinion, it's because leaders aren't engaging people. And most leaders are put in a leadership position because they were good at technical work. And they also had good moral character. They showed up early, they stayed late, they treated people well, they were a good team player. So in their leaders' minds, they said, wow, this person shows up early, they stay late, they get along with people, they're good at technical work. Why not put them in a leadership position? But 90% of people don't go through any kind of formal leadership training. Leadership is a multidisciplinary skill that is built around helping you take what you know technically and the moral character that you have and transferring that to other people and duplicating yourself in others. Your role as a leader is to create results through people, not in spite of them. Very important difference. So people want to be connected to others. How do you connect to others? Well, first, there's got to be vulnerability. For you to connect to others, you personally, as a leader, have to be vulnerable. You have to be vulnerable to open up your mind, your heart to other people. If you're not vulnerable with others, they won't be vulnerable with you. No, I'm not asking you to sit by a fire and sing Kumbaya and talk about the deepest, darkest secrets of your life. That's not what I'm getting at all. What I want you to do is open up about your dreams, your desires personally, your wants for the organization, your wants for the team. You know, the vulnerable things that we're afraid to talk about because we're afraid we're going to be judged or looked at as fluffy. But those are the things worth fighting for. You get up in the morning every single day and you go to work. Why? To go and provide a better life for your family. Now, some of you may have lost that. You may have lost your desire. You're driving to work every day. You're on a metaphoric hamster wheel. You're on the conveyor belt of life, up and down. You're going one, you're going there and you're coming back. You're going there and you're coming back. You've lost your purpose. But if you can get down to the fundamental that providing for your family is one of the greatest causes of mankind, to make a better way for your wife and your children, to make a better way for your husband and your children, to help to support those in your family that you love, your grandma, your grandpa, your mom, your dad, your brothers, your sisters. What a great cause. And maybe that doesn't inspire you like it once did, but make no mistake, you as a human being, the things you can be vulnerable around are simply the purpose behind why you do what you do every day. And it's important for leaders to open up about that. If you really want to know what intrinsically motivates people, you gotta be vulnerable yourself and be willing to ask the tough questions. What matters to you? What's important? But what do people connect around? People connect around what? We connect with other human beings about what matters to us most. And you get into deep conversations with people about their families. I mean, you can go anywhere. And if you take a kid with you, I have 4 kids, 4, 6, 8, and 10. If I take them in the store anywhere, my kids are cute. They're a little bit rowdy sometimes. They're funny. And inevitably, there's always a person there that says something about, oh, I have kids too. And there's this feeling of nostalgia that comes over them. And they start explaining, why it's so important to take advantage of the time that we have while kids are little, because it's going to be gone in a minute. And oh man, once your kids are older, the time's gone, you never get it back. So make sure that you spend a lot of time. But those are the things that matter to people. That's what we connect around. The weather is a conversation starter, but at least it's common ground that we can connect on. People connect around sports. They can connect around books. They connect around TV shows. But all of those things talk about what people value, what they care about. So it's important as a leader that you're vulnerable and you're able to share personal things about your life. And I know what people say, you shouldn't mix personal with business. I think that's a load of hogwash. I don't think that's true at all. I think great teams and great cultures, they connect around personal things. They know each other inside and out. They know each other's kids' names. They know each other's hobbies. They know each other's interests. They can fight like brothers and sisters and still love each other and get back up after they've fallen down together and fight another day, to be connected in relationships. Another way to quickly bridge the gap, and if any of you want this, you can email me, mross@hbkln.com, and I'll send you one of these, is you do assessments. Do personal assessments. Do personality tests, leadership tests to see what a person's personal propensity is, what their personality type is. Why? Because it helps you connect with them better. You know, in the DISC personality profile, you can't talk to a C-type personality the same way you talk to an I and expect to connect on a deep level. You can't connect to an S the same way you talk to a C. You can't talk to a D the same way you talk to an S. It just doesn't connect as well. So if you want to know people well, take assessments, get to know their personality type, talk about them, figure out how much they know about themselves. There's also something called the Johari window. And the Johari window is real simple. There's things about me that you don't know. There's things about you I won't know, no matter how much time we spend together. There's unknowns. There's things that you keep to yourself, and maybe it's not, there's nothing, no malintent behind it. You just simply don't feel like you need to share certain things about yourself. Same with me. I don't think everybody needs to know everything about me, but that's in the Johari window, that's a dark glass for someone on the outside. Well, then there's the open window, which is, things about me that I know, and I know things about you that you know. So there's a connection point. And then there's the third part of the Johari window, the blind spots for an individual, which is this. There are things about you, if I spend enough time with you, that I know about you, personal tendencies, propensities, little habits, that you may not know about yourself. My wife is very good with this towards me. If there's something I'm doing that she thinks is not good for me, she'll tell me. And oftentimes when she tells me, I go, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize I was doing that. I thank you for telling me. So that's the blind spot that we can help each other with. And then finally, there's things that I don't know about me yet, and you don't know about me yet. Things yet to be discovered, the unknowns, the obscurities of life. But we need to connect with individuals as often as possible about the things you know about each other. And you need to connect on those things. So assessments will help you do that. And as leaders, I think it's very important that you have everybody on your team take assessments. And if you want some, I have some very simple ones. They're absolutely free. All you have to do is email me, mross@hbkln.com, and I'll send you a couple. And you can send them to your team and have your team take them, then you can talk about them. It's very, very important that you fight to get to know your team very, very well. So the second intrinsic motivator, everybody wants to be connected in relationships. Everybody wants to be known, and they want to know others. So my suggestion this week for you, this is a very simple activity all of you can do. Go to your team, those on your team, and what I want you to do is ask a ton of questions. We learn a lot more by asking than by talking. So if you will take some time, go to all your team members, just start asking questions about themselves. Put a timer on for 5 minutes and think to yourself, I am not going to say anything unless I'm asking a question, a follow-up question. So take some time this week. Pick a couple people on your team and just simply ask a bunch of questions. And in the next video, we will talk about, or the next podcast, we are going to talk about the third of the 3 intrinsic motivators, which is Everybody wants to belong and contribute to a cause bigger than themselves. And as leaders, it's very important that we create clarity around this. And we also give clarity on people's contribution to the cause. Can't wait to talk to you next time on the HBK High Performance Podcast.